Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the September 25th, 2023 meeting to order at 5 p.m. Before we get started with the agenda, I'd like to acknowledge that the land on which we gather is Treaty 2 land, traditional territory of Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Assiniboine, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and homeland of the Métis Nation. We affirm our commitment to moving forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of collaboration and reconciliation. A motion by Deputy Mayor Laughlin, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be it resolved that the regular council meeting agenda be amended as follows. We have one addition to the agenda, and that's a delegation from our Economic Development Manager, which will be item 4C. All those, any other additions? No? Call the question then. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, carried. Thank you. And then moved by Councillor Sobering, seconded by Deputy Mayor Laughlin, that council accepts the agenda as amended. All in favor? Seeing no one opposed, carried. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Sobering, be it resolved that council waives the reading and accepts and approves the circulated the minutes of the following meeting, and that's the council meeting of September 11th, 2023. Questions or comments regarding those minutes? Call for the question. All in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, carried. We'll move to items as we have no hearings. 22, all right, 4C. So, okay. Right. So we'll call a delegation up. Oh, surprise me with a delegation. The floor is yours, Martine.
Oh, let's put us a little close. All right. I don't really normally get nervous in speaking in front of people, but I'm a little bit nervous. And one person in the room must be wondering by now what's going on. So first of all, I want to say that Ryan van der Hayden and Lindsay Cal wanted to be here too today, and they sent their regrets I couldn't be here, but and why they want to be here, that all makes sense in any minute. But I have a quick speech prepared, if that's okay with everybody. I just wanted to start this meeting off with a quick speech, if you allow me. And I wrote it down because I wanted to make sure I didn't forget anything. So, hello, everyone. I know this is going to be a total surprise to him, and he does not like surprises. But today we are taking a brief moment before the start of council meeting to celebrate and honor someone who's dedicated and tirelessly efforts his life, and he left an incredible mark on the world of recreation in Manitoba. He is my friend and my mentor, and it is my honor to deliver this short speech and present David Boziak with the Award of Merit from the Canadian Parks and Recreation Association. So David Boziak's journey in the realm of recreation is nothing short of inspiring. For years, he has passionately dedicated himself to enhancing the lives of Manitobans through recreational activities, programs, and facilities. His commitment to promoting fitness, physical and mental well-being, fostering community connections, and creating a more vibrant and inclusive world has not gone unnoticed. David's vision for a healthier, happier, and more connected Manitoba has shaped the landscape of recreation in our province. He has been a driving force behind numerous initiatives that have touched the lives of people from all walks of life, from revitalizing local parks and facilities to developing innovative programs that cater to the diverse needs of our communities, to leading major events such as the 2004 Manitoba Summer Games and countless fundraising initiatives and consulting gigs. David's contributions have been instrumental in making recreation more accessible and enjoyable for the future. David is not just a leader, he is an inspiration to all of us. Some of us are in the room with us, like Carla. His unwavering commitment to the betterment of our community through recreation and community development has earned him the respect and admiration of peers, colleagues, and community members alike. He has shown us that with determination, passion and a genuine love for what you do, one person can make a profound difference. Today, as we present David with the Award of Merit from CPRA, we acknowledge not only his past accomplishments, but also notion that he isn't done yet. David, your dedication to recreation in Manitoba has touched the hearts of many, and your legacy will continue to inspire us for generations to come. We thank you for your outstanding service, your unwavering commitment, and your passion for making our communities a better place to live. Congratulations, my friend.
Look at that. Wow. Neat. Yeah.
It's been sitting in my drawer for.
Should I come around? Like,
Yeah, go for it.
yeah, go for it.
Here, give me the crutch. Are you okay? Get it out of the folder. It's not. Okay, good. One more. Try to smile.
Thanks, Carla and Maggie, for coming in. I did something bad this afternoon. Thanks, very kind words. I don't have a rebuttal.
Response.
All of you later. Thank you very much. You want to stay for the rest of the meeting?
I wasn't gonna do that.
Thanks, Carla.
The best mentor I ever had.
Thanks. She said one. All right. I don't want to say sorry for the interruption, but now on to regular business. We have a number of items in the consent agenda. And we have one action item regarding our outstanding water accounts. Roll 018-4600, $28.83, non-payment of a final utility bill. And that's the only one, so that's on the Director of Finance and Utility Clerk's recommendations. We have a number of proclamations today, so get comfortable, please. And we'll start. We have the first proclamation, Truth and Reconciliation Week and National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. And I'll call on Deputy Mayor Laughlin.
Thank you. Whereas the Truth and Reconciliation Commission released its final report on June 2nd, 2015, which included 94 calls to action to redress the legacy of residential schools and to provide a framework for all levels of government to repair the painful legacy of our colonial history and to move forward with reconciliation. And whereas unmarked graves at residential schools in Manitoba and across the country have raised awareness about the truth of residential schools and the need to honor survivors and remember the children who did not make it home. And whereas in response to recommendation number 80 of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, the federal government, in collaboration with Indigenous peoples, has proclaimed September 30th to be a federal statutory holiday to be recognized as the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. And whereas the City of Dauphin recognizes that public remembrance of the history of residential schools is a vital component of the reconciliation process. And whereas the City of Dauphin and its employees will be observing the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, previously known as Orange Shirt Day, on October 2nd, 2023, in lieu of September 30th, 2023, to provide time to reflect on the legacy of the residential school system and its impact on Indigenous communities. And now, therefore, we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, do hereby proclaim September 25th to the 30th, 2023, as Truth and Reconciliation Week, and September 30th, 2023, as National Day for Truth and Reconciliation.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Laughlin. I'll move to the second proclamation that we're recognizing today, and that's Right to Know Week, and I'll call on Councillor Sobring.
Thank you, Mayor Boziak. I would like to hereby proclaim, whereas reasonable access to information is fundamental to a democratic society, and whereas Right to Know Day is celebrated around the world every September 28th to mark the benefits of transparent, accessible government, and whereas Right to Know Week is recognized in communities across Canada from September 25th to October 1st, 2023, and whereas in Manitoba, the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act and the Personal Health Information Act apply to public sector bodies, including the City of Dauphin, and enable persons to obtain access to records subject to specific limited expectations. And whereas it is important to highlight and observe the importance of open and accountable government. Now, therefore, we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, do hereby proclaim September 25th to the October 1st, 2023 as Right to Know Week.
Thank you, Councillor Sobring. The next proclamation is International Days of Older Person, and I guess I'll read that one. Whereas in 1990, the United Nations adopted October 1st as the International Day of Older Persons, and whereas between 1950 and 2010, life expectancy worldwide rose from 46 to 68 years, and it's projected to reach 81 years by the end of the century. And whereas by 2050, 2 billion people worldwide will be 60 years of age or older, and whereas older persons represent the fastest growing segment of the Canadian population, requiring attention to their specific needs, including income security, housing, healthcare, and elder abuse. And whereas in 2010, Canada recognized these needs by designating October 1st as National Seniors Day. And whereas the City of Dauphin celebrates seniors in our community and the contributions they make to their families and society, now therefore we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, do hereby proclaim October 1st, 2023 as the International Day of Older Persons, dated this day in the province of Manitoba and signed by me. So that's the International Day of Older Persons proclamation. I'd now like to call on Councillor Bellemare for Wrongful Conviction Day.
Thank you. Whereas the loss of one's freedom due to a wrongful conviction has far-reaching and devastating consequences, which not only affects the innocent individual's life, but also affects the quality of life of their families and has a harmful effect on society as a whole. And whereas wrongful convictions question the integrity and fairness of the criminal justice system, and unless corrected, undermines society's trust in the criminal justice system. And whereas Wrongful Conviction Day is a global movement dedicated to advocating for innocent individuals who have been wrongly convicted of a crime they did not commit. And whereas the implementation and recognition of this day is the start to reaching a broader audience regarding the importance surrounding miscarriages of justice. And whereas the proclamation will assist to advocate, educate, and create awareness around these misgivings of justice in hope for reform to minimize the effect it could have on another individual. Now, therefore, we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, do hereby proclaim October 2nd as Wrongful Conviction Day, dated at the City of Dauphin this 25th day of September 2023.
Thank you, Councillor Bellemare. I'd now like to have the Fire Prevention Week proclamation, and that would be Councillor Daly.
Thank you, Mayor Boziak. I have 18 whereases. So, whereas the City of Dauphin is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living in and visiting Dauphin, and whereas fire is a serious public safety concern both locally and nationally, and homes are the locations where people are at greatest risk from fire, and whereas when the smoke alarm sounds, Dauphin's residents may have less than 2 minutes to escape to safety. And whereas Dauphin's residents who have planned and practiced a home fire escape plan are more prepared and will therefore be more likely to survive a fire. And whereas Dauphin's residents should make a home escape plan drawing a map of each level of the home showing all doors and windows. And whereas Dauphin's residents should practice the home fire escape plan with everyone in the household, including visitors. And whereas Dauphin's residents should practice the home fire escape drill at least twice a year, especially during the day and at night. And whereas Dauphin's residents should teach children to escape on their own in case adults cannot help them. And whereas Dauphin's residents should make sure everyone in the home knows how to call 911 or the local emergency number from a cell phone or a neighbor's phone. And whereas Dauphin's residents should practice using different ways out, and whereas Dauphin's residents in a real emergency should get low and go under the smoke to get out quickly. And whereas Dauphin's residents should get out and stay out, never going back inside the home for people, pets, or things. And whereas Dauphin's residents are responsive to public education measures and are able to take action to increase their safety from fire, especially in their homes. And whereas this year marks the 101st anniversary of Fire Prevention Week. And whereas this year's campaign, Cooking Safety Starts With You, Pay Attention to Fire Prevention, works to educate everyone about simple but important actions they can take to keep themselves and those around them safe when cooking. And whereas all the people of Dauphin are urged to be aware of their surroundings, look for available points of escape in the event of a fire or emergency, respond when the smoke alarm sounds by exiting the building immediately, and support the public safety activities and efforts of the Dauphin Fire Department during Fire Prevention Week 2023. Now, therefore, we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, do hereby proclaim October 8th to 14th, 2023 as Fire Prevention Week.
Thank you very much, Councillor Daly. And finally, we have a proclamation for Small Business Week and Chamber Days, and that's Councillor Ray.
Whereas Small Business Week in Canada is designated as October 15th to the 21st, 2023, and whereas Small Business Week is an annual celebration of the entrepreneurship that the Business Development Bank of Canada has organized for over 40 years, and whereas during this week, citizens are encouraged to support small and medium-sized businesses, and whereas during this week, organizations offer events and programming to help further support small and medium-sized businesses. And whereas the City of Dauphin commends the Parkland Chamber of Commerce for their efforts in support of the business community across the Parkland and recognizes that we are indeed stronger together. Now, therefore, we, the Council of the City of Dauphin, do hereby proclaim October 15th to the 21st, 2023 as Small Business Week and Chamber Days.
Thank you very much, Councillor Ray. There was one other item in the consent agenda, and that was some information, a memo report from Wawanesa Insurance in regards to several of their folks being in town last week and their generous donation to the Carberry Crash donation fund that the foundation has set up. Moved by Councillor Sobering, seconded by Deputy Mayor Laughlin. Be it resolved that the items listed in red under items 5, the consent agenda, be approved and form part of these minutes. Questions or comments? Call for the question then. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, call that motion carried. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Daly. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the corporate report for the September 25th regular meeting, and that's from the Deputy City Manager, and that's reflective of August and September of 2023. Lisa, is there anything you wanted to bring to our attention regarding your report?
Yes, I would just like to extend my congratulations to our bylaw enforcement officer, Conrad Demaray, who applied for and was awarded the position of safety manager. His move left an opening in the BEO position, and I invited Conrad to join me in the recruiting and hiring process for the new BEO. I received 40 applications for this competition, which closed on September 11th. Conrad and I interviewed 4 candidates and selected Darian Karuk for the role. Darian currently works for the City of Dauphin. He brings to this new role previous education in conservation, public relations, and law enforcement, and we are very happy to welcome him aboard in this new capacity. Thank you.
Thanks, Lisa. Any questions or comments from council for the Deputy Manager? Call for the question then. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Sobering, be resolved that the financial accounts, having been examined by council, be hereby authorized and approved as follows. We had 53 checks totaling $277,491.31. We had no voided checks in the current range, and there were no voided checks in past range, and there were no electronic payments during this period. Questions or comments about the financial accounts? Call for the question. All in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Ray, be resolved that council accepts as information the unaudited financial statements before PSAB adjustments for the period ending July 31st, which include the general fund balance sheet and income statement and the utility fund balance sheet and income statement. Questions or comments regarding these two reports? Seeing none, call for the question then. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Daly, be it resolved that council accepts as information the reserve report for the period ending July 31st. Questions or comments regarding the reserve report? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor of this resolution? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Loughlin, seconded by Councillor Ray, be it resolved that council accepts as information the budget variant analysis for July 2023. Questions or comments? Charla.
Just want to draw it to council's attention. So about halfway through the year in July, our director of finance starts putting together this budget variance analysis. He looks at just a few of the bigger departments to see if we're under or over where we should be at this point in the year. So just that's usually a one page, and it's a really good analysis for new council members if you take a look at that. Just to see where we're at. I know this is your first year going through the cycle, so just wanted to draw your attention to that. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions or comments? All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Carried. Moved by Councillor Sobering, seconded by Deputy Mayor Loughlin, be resolved that council accepts as information the engineering report for the September 25th meeting, and that's from the Director of Public Works and Operations for July and August. Mike, do you have anything you wanted to add to the report? No, he's nodding his head. Any questions or comments for Mike? Seeing none. All in favor of the report? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, carried. Thank you. Moved by Councillor Daly, seconded by Councillor Sobering, be resolved that council accepts as information the Protective Services report for the September meeting, and that's from the Animal Control Officer for the month of August. Questions or comments regarding the Animal Service Officer report? Councillor Bellemare.
It's not really a question, but I was talking to Todd, and he was telling me that there are raccoons around the creeks in town here that have distemper, and that they kind of roll down the hill and they're acting weird. And I know that my cousin was telling me in her community they have raccoons that are acting weird. So if you see raccoons acting weird, contact Todd and get it taken care of, and don't approach the animals, because if it's distemper, it's dangerous. And yes, and vaccinate your animals to make sure they don't catch distemper, because it is in our community right now.
There we go. Sorry. Thank you, Deputy Mayor Loughlin. Moved by Deputy Mayor Loughlin and seconded by Councillor Sobering, be resolved that council accepts as information the minutes from the following committee, and that's from the Dauphin Veterinary Services District Board and their regular board meeting minutes of August 18th. Questions or comments regarding the vet service report? Seeing none, call for the question then. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, carried. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Deputy Mayor Loughlin. Whereas on January 9th, 2023, Council passed Resolution 2023-33, approving November 13th, 2023 as a City of Dauphin's tax sale date for the 2021 tax sale year. And whereas in correspondence dated August 22nd, the account manager of tax services advised that due to the need for more time to secure substitutional service for a deceased property owners, the City of Dauphin's tax sale date needs to be changed to December the 6th, 2023 at 10 a.m. And whereas at our regular meeting at September 11th, Council agreed to open and reconsider the resolution from the January 9th meeting, be it resolved that Council reschedules the City of Dauphin's tax sale for the 2021 tax sale year from November 13th to December the 6th. Questions or comments regarding this motion? Call for the question then. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be resolved that Council accepts as information a memo dated September 23rd from the City Manager outlining the details of the City's Canadian Mortgage and Housing Corporation Housing Accelerator Fund grant application. Further be resolved that Council authorizes the City's application and the initiatives indicated as they will contribute to the housing supply in Dauphin. And further be resolved that Council authorizes the City Manager to apply for the CMHC HAF grant under the Small Rural Northern Indigenous Funding Stream with the intent to implement actions to remove barriers to growing the housing supply, accelerate housing supply growth, and support community development. Be it resolved that Council authorizes the Manager to provide overall management support of the reporting of the funds should the application be successful. Questions or comments regarding this resolution? All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Laughlin, seconded by Councillor Sobering, whereas the Manitoba Municipal Economic Development Infrastructure Program supports capital projects focused on renewal, innovation, and economic development in municipalities outside of Winnipeg, and whereas the City of Dauphin will be submitting an application for MEDIP funding to help finance the Main Street South reconstruction and drainage project as a supplement to funding already secured through Local Improvement Debenture Bylaw 07-2023 in the amount of $8,150,000. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information a memo dated September 22nd from the Director of Public Works noting that MEDIP application requires a supporting resolution from Council with confirmation of other funding sources. So further be resolved that Council confirms their commitment to the Main Street South reconstruction and drainage project and supports the City of Dauphin's application for MEDIP funding to supplement the $8.15 million debenture already secured. Questions or comments regarding this motion? All in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Laughlin, seconded by Councillor Sobering, whereas on July 18th, the City of Dauphin released a request for proposal for a top-mount enclosed pumper truck with a closing date of August 25th, be it resolved that Council accepts as information a memo dated September 15th from the Fire Chief, noting that 3 proposals for such truck were received and recommending that the RFP be awarded to Fort Garry Fire Trucks of Winnipeg for a 2025 model Freightliner cabin chassis top mount enclosed pumper with a 1,000 imperial gallon tank and a Darley 1,250 gallon imperial gallon pump for a total cost of $788,998 plus applicable taxes. Further be it resolved that Council agrees with the Fire Chief's recommendation and approves the purchase of this top-mount enclosed truck with the above-noted tank and pump from Fort Garry Trucks for the total cost indicated of $788,998 plus applicable taxes. Questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Opposed? None, carried. Thank you. I know that one's been on the books for a while. It's time to finally see that moving along. Moved by Councillor Ray, seconded by Councillor Bellemare, whereas the province is providing funding to the City of Dauphin to create an approximate 104-space childcare facility as part of the federal government's mandate to increase childcare spaces in Canada, and whereas part of the city's responsibility is to provide certain aspects of the facility, including but not limited to land, utility access, and 15 years of general indoor and outdoor maintenance of the grounds of the facility. And whereas another part of the city's responsibility in the project is to select a child care service organization that will operate the facility lease-free for the first 15 years. And whereas the city issued a request for proposal for a child care service organization and had received 2 proposals, be it resolved that council accepts as information a memorandum dated September 22nd from the city manager regarding the provincial child care project and the request for proposal for the child care service organization. Further be it resolved that council awards the RFP for the child care service organization to Parkland Campus Kids Incorporated with the terms as outlined in an agreement that is forthcoming. Questions or comments? Councillor Bellemare.
Yeah, I was just wondering about the word lease-free in the resolution. So can you explain the background for that?
Certainly. So this childcare facility project is a partnership between the province and the city of Dauphin, and it is from funding that came from the federal government. And part of that is to get the childcare facility constructed and then award the operation of it to an entity, and that is they get to operate it for 15 years with no lease payments or no rent payments or anything like that. So the city maintains ownership of the facility, and the operator gets to operate without lease payments on it.
So lease payment free. I got it.
Yeah, and that was part of the criteria of us receiving the funding on the front side. Any other questions or comments regarding this proposal? I'd just like to state that it was very clear from the very beginning, once Dauphin was provided funding, that an RFP for an operator was very important on the front end. We had reached out to many other communities that were involved in this, and it's a very complicated process. And there were several situations regarding the city of Dauphin, Morden, and a few other communities that were quite different than many of the other communities that were both in on phase 1 and phase 2 of this funding from the province. And so I'd like to commend city staff for following procurement rules as outlined by the province, and that the city didn't do anything untoward in any of the process and actually took extra steps to ensure that the process was open and transparent, and that we fully met all of the criteria that was outlined by the provincial government as the funder. So it's a complicated, as I mentioned, a complicated process because the province funnels or flows the money to our community, but the province also has jurisdictional responsibility for operations. And so it was very clear to us that if we wanted to get into this process with a daycare and get the millions of dollars to actually build the facility, that we go forward with as much information as possible and get the operator on board before any of the design or build work is actually done, so that the facility as it's completed is reflective of the needs of the operator. And so that's why we did the RFP in the time that we did. And again, I commend staff for being very diligent in that process. So any other comments, questions? Then all in favor of this recommendation, resolution? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, I'll call that motion carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Deputy Mayor Laughlin. Whereas at the regular meeting of October 4th, 2021, Council authorized the signing of a professional service agreement with AECOM Canada for the design of a South End storm drainage and retention system for a cost of $217,215 plus applicable taxes. And whereas the professional service agreement for the design of a South End storm drainage and retention system included a request that AECOM Canada provide an additional scope of services to assist the City of Dauphin with delivering the construction of the design as part of the Main Street South Reconstruction and Drainage Project. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information a memorandum dated September 20th from the Director of Public Works noting that the proposed scope of service for AECOM Canada to fulfill the required inspections and reporting for the delivery of the construction of the South End storm drainage and retention system design will incur an estimated cost of $140,650, with billing to be based on actual time spent on the project, providing contract administration support to the city up to a potential total of $175,000, and recommending that this scope of services be approved. Further be resolved that council agrees to the recommendation from the Director of Public Works and Operations, approves the proposed scope of services as outlined above, and authorizes the amended professional service agreement to be signed and sealed by the city manager on behalf of the city. And further be resolved that council authorizes spending up to $175,000 to cover the required inspections and reporting as part of the scope of service to provide contract administration to the city for the project, with costs to be paid from the City of Dauphin Local Improvement Debenture Bylaw 072023. Questions or comments regarding this resolution? Call for the question then. All those in favor? Anyone opposed? Seeing none, carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Daly, be it resolved that bylaw 082023, being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin to manage waste, recycling, and yard waste collection systems, be now read a second time. Questions or comments regarding? All those in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Sobring, seconded by Deputy Mayor Laughlin, be resolved that bylaw 082023, being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin to manage waste, recycling, and yard waste collection systems, be now read a third time and be signed and sealed by the mayor and the city manager. This is a recorded vote. So, Councillor Sobring, in favor. Deputy Mayor Laughlin. Councillor Sticalo. I see a nod. Thank you. Councillor Bellemare. Councillor Ray. Councillor Daly. And Bosiak is in favor. Motion is carried unanimously. Thank you very much. Moved by Deputy Mayor Laughlin, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be resolved that council accepts as information the following invitations: the Association of Manitoba Municipalities Asset Management Workshop on October the 16th, the KIN Canada Fall Leadership Convention on October the 21st, the Association of Manitoba Municipalities 2023 Fall Convention, November 28th to the 30th, and the annual Manitoba Watersheds Conference, December 4th to the 6th. Further be resolved that all expenses related to council and senior management attending these events be borne by the City of Dauphin. Questions or comments regarding these invitations of events coming up? Seeing none, call for the question. All those in favor? Opposed? None? Carried. Moved by Councillor Sobring, seconded by Councillor Ray. Be resolved that council accepts as information the community events listed below. The Northwest Métis Council, Shoe Us the Love, Shoes and Boot Drive. The Dauphin Culture Days, September 22nd to October the 15th. And Dauphin's Yard Fringe, which is being held on October 1st. Questions or comments regarding any of these community events coming up? Seeing none, call for the question. All in favor? Anyone opposed? None. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Councillor Daly. Be resolved that council accepts as information the councillor reports. So let's have the reports. And who wants to go first today? Deputy Mayor Laughlin stepped up to the plate. Sorry, Councillor Sticalo, I didn't even look at the screen and Laughlin was yelling in my ear. So we'll start with Deputy Mayor.
I guarantee you it's going to be pretty quick. So that's why I wanted to go first to get it out of the way. But thank you, Mr. Mayor. For me, again, it's very short. On September the 11th, I attended the regular council meeting here at City Hall. On the 18th, a week later, we had a planning and priorities meeting here at City Hall. And then just last Friday, I went to the Dauphin Kings home opener. Congratulations to them on winning their first two games. And the season has officially begun for Junior A hockey, and the NHL obviously not too far behind with preseason starting there last night. That's pretty much it for me. Other than that, getting ready for, I won't say the W word, but doing a lot of yard work to get ready for that season. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Laughlin. Next, Councillor Sobring.
Sure, not everybody all at once. I also attended the previous Planning Priorities Council meeting. I attended on September 12th the Dauphin District Handyvan meeting. On the September the 18th, I attended the Economic Development meeting. I did attend several meetings and discussions around Riverside Cemetery. Lots of planning and work being done on that committee. I attended a active transportation committee presentation with Director of Public Works Mike Van Alstyne on September the 20th, where we presented to the planners, planning group from the province of Manitoba. Also, at that day, I went along the tour hosted by Councillor Stikilo, where we visited the Manitoba Métis Northwest Council facilities, Northgate Multi-Use Trail Network. We went to Vermilion Growers, and we ended it off with a visit to the obsolete brewing company. Of surprise, surprise. And I think that's all the places we visited, all the important ones anyway. And I guess the only other things are just a few things I'd like to say. Today I voted in the early polls for the election, the provincial election. So just encourage everybody, regardless of stripe, to go out there and vote. I believe there's some early voting on Saturday. You can't complain if you don't vote. And also I want to just say a special thank you to Gord Dauphin, CFO Wawanisa. Just again, the donation that his organization made our community foundation after the tragedy in June. His dad was the former mayor here at the city of Dauphin, and I'm sure he'd be very proud that his son continues to look on Dauphin and support us, not just as congratulatory when we're successful, but also supporting us in that time of tragedy and that generous financial donation from their organization. So I just wanted to mention him. And then last but not least, I did want to congratulate Mayor Boziak on his recognition as Parks and Rec. And I just do know that when we did the very first Manitoba Mud Run, it was not as his role of Parks and Rec, but at that time, I guess it wasn't Mayor Boziak, but his business, the gym, Bodies by Bows, generously donated 2 months free gym membership for everybody who entered the Manitoba Mud Run, which is a real watershed moment for our community. And I remember going there faithfully at 6 a.m. every day with my geriatric teammates, where we worked out on the recumbent bikes, and I think we lost a total of like 200 pounds plus, the three of us. But it was Mayor Boziak's commitment to recreation, to fitness, that really was a real big game changer for me personally, and I think for the community as a whole. Just want to say how not just on the community side, but also as a business, he's always very supportive and driving recreation to where we are now as a very active community. So all the things that spurred from that moment, it's all those little decisions and little supports along the way that get us to where we are. So just wanted to say a big thank you and congratulations. And that concludes my report.
Thanks, Councillor Sobring. Devin, you ready? Councillor Stikilo?
Yeah, you bet. Thanks very much, Mayor Boziak. For myself, September 11th, regular council meeting, September 18th, the planning and priorities meeting. And as Councillor Sobering mentioned, on September 20th, I was in attendance for the active transportation presentation by Public Works, Director of Public Works and Operations, Mike Van Alstyne, as well as Councillor Sobering. And I just wanted to say a big thank you for that. It was a great presentation. I heard a lot of positive feedback and just comments regarding Dauphin's vision and Dauphin's commitment to active transportation and a healthy lifestyle in our community. And it was a good day, as Councillor Sobering mentioned. We visited a few other places around the community, and they showcased the great work that they're doing and the progress that the city is making. And it's always great to be able to highlight and to show off the great accomplishments of the community and the direction that we're going. And just wanted to say an extended thank you to Councillor Sobering for joining the group along that for the day. So and finally, I just want to congratulate Mayor Boziak on his recognition this evening. As Martine mentioned, I think it was a surprise to a lot of people, including myself. So that's great to hear that there's well, I know there's a lot of great work being done, and it's nice to get that recognition sometimes. So thanks very much, Mayor Boziak, for your steadfast commitment to recreation in our community. It's certainly appreciated. And that ends my report.
Thank you, Councillor Sticalo. Councillor Bellemare.
Thank you. Community safety and well-being work. Last Monday afternoon and this afternoon, there was 4 hours of training each day online through our consultant that is training us for this. And on the 13th, I attended a one-to-one meeting on our specific plan with the consultant and the Department of Justice rep to begin formalizing the process. A couple of meetings with Riverside Cemetery, 15th and 22nd. I was also at the Planning and Priorities meeting that's been mentioned on the 18th. Library board meeting, there was a regional one on the 18th. So councillor reps from all 21 libraries in the Parkland Regional Library System get invited to attend. And I think there were only about 4 libraries that weren't represented. So very good turnout. And then the next day, the local Dauphin Public Library had their meeting. I attended the city's caucus meeting in Brandon on the 20th, which was an opportunity to meet mayors and staff from the other cities in our province and talk with them about current issues. In the afternoon, we had a walking tour of downtown Brandon, noting the issues they are dealing with and the strategies they are using to try and assist with those issues. Watson liaison meeting on noon on the 21st. One of the things discussed, building issues, or building projects, not issues. The repointing of the bricks were discussed, and the contractor is being really supportive because you probably know we have chimney swifts in the chimney there, and they were willing to work around their migration pattern to make sure that the birds were not disturbed. So they finished their work and then coming back after the migration because they are a protected species, those chimney swifts. And I attended a Zoom meeting for the Canadian Mental Health Swan River chapter. They were having their AGM. I too attended the Dauphin Kings opener. And that was on Friday, 7-1. I mean, they just walked away with that game. So that was a super strong opening for the Kings. And upcoming on October 1st, Sunday, October 1st, is the Yard Fringe, part of the Culture Days. If you haven't been to a Yard Fringe, grab your bike and go to the Watson at 1 o'clock. It's a little earlier than usual. I have a friend who can't ride a bike, so she's bringing her car and she follows the bikers on the car and then participates at the different stations there. So it's great. Fall cleaning. If you have any shoes or boots in your closets that are in great condition or perhaps even new and you haven't really worn them yet, men's and women's shoes, take them down to the Métis Federation. So I think this is a really cool idea to get shoes on the feet of people who need them and keep them out of the landfill. And kudos, the digging on Main Street South has now been completed and paving equipment is moving into our town. So we have Sterling Enterprises doing some of the municipal streets, and we have Maple Leaf Construction doing some of the highways because some of the roads through our communities are highways. And so that's why you're going to see 2 different companies. And I'd like to also congratulate Mayor David. I guess I was in the mud run the following year, so I didn't get that membership and I missed that 60 pounds being lost. But anyways, congrats, Dave, because your name is really synonymous with recreation in this community, so a reward well deserved. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bellemare. Councillor Ray?
Yes. My report is pretty short as I've been gone for the last 3.5 weeks. September 11th, I did manage to attend the regular council meeting via Zoom. This afternoon, I participated in the community safety and well-being training session, also on Zoom. I had no committee meetings during the time I was away on vacation. They're all going to be this week and next, so it'll be a busy couple weeks coming up. I would like to congratulate the JV girls, Clipper girls volleyball team on winning their first tournament of the year that they participated in over the weekend in Elton. And I would also like to congratulate Mayor Boziak on his award that he received today. It was well deserved. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councillor Ray. And Councillor Daly?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. September 11th, attended regular council meeting. September 13th, sat in on the Community Safety Wellbeing Zoom meeting. Or no, I'm sorry, that wasn't Zoom. Yeah, it was. It was, yeah, Teams meeting, sorry. September 14th, attended a meeting at the on the Parkview Lodge project with 15 agency-type groups in that meeting. On September 18th, on Zoom, a 4-hour training session with Community Safety Wellbeing Plan training. September 18th as well, P&P meeting. And again this afternoon, September 25th, with the Community Safety Wellbeing training. I also want to mention, Mr. Mayor, it's a long way from being in that really crappy little office you had in that building that should be torn down. So well deserved. That's it for me.
Thank you, Councillor Daly. And I have nothing more to say, so brings a smile to the face of our intrepid reporter at the back. So I'd like to call the question then. All those in favor? Seeing none, carried. And moved by Deputy Mayor Loughlin, seconded by Councillor Bellemare, be resolved that the council meeting be recessed at 6:15